Hello there. Welcome to All About Leadership. All About Leadership. Olatunji Sobodu is my name. And this is a series that is starting right now, this morning. And I'm going to be having this session at the beginning, first day of every month from now on. And what I intend to do at the session is to bear my mind on important issues on the subject of leadership, on important issues. So, any aspect of leadership that I feel strongly inspired to share, I would be addressing it at this session. I call it All About Leadership. All About Leadership. So, there will be 12 editions every year on the first of every month. In the morning, make it a date, and you'll be sure to receive some thoughts of mine on the all important subject of leadership. And these sessions, therefore, will be different from those that you have known me for, that you have noted Emmet Leadership Academy for. And by the way, I'm founder and CEO at Emmet Leadership Academy, and this still comes to you on the platform of Emmet Leadership Academy. It's all about leadership. We have chosen to call it, and is sharing uh, very important substance about the subject of leadership. The focus being how to do leadership right. By the way, at Emmet Leadership Academy, we nurture leaders based on truth. We nurture leaders based on the truth. All right, so today I want to share with you on the topic, the currency of true leaders. The currency of true leaders. And I believe that it's what I'm going to be sharing, from the depth of my heart, is the understanding I have about what leadership entails and the currency, therefore, that the leader trades in. All right, leaders are sellers. There is what they sell. The leadership relationship is an exchange relationship. Leadership will be nothing to those who follow if there is no benefit. All right. There is an exchange. Leadership is a transaction. All right. When it is successful, it means that the intended exchange has taken place. All right. The leader has received what he is supposed to get out of that relationship, and the follower has also received what he or she is supposed to get out of that relationship. So I say leadership is an exchange of intangibles between the follower and the leader. And when that exchange has taken place, then the leader has been successful, and the follower has had the good fortune of benefiting from a true leader. All right, and benefiting in the right way. Why do we say that the exchange of intangibles? The exchange of intangibles, because what the leader has to offer, the follower cannot hold it in his or her hand. The follower receives it into his or her person. And what the follower gives to the leader, exchanges for what he receives from the leader, also cannot be held. All right? It is an expression from the heart, as you would come to discover shortly, um, towards the leader. And so the leader receives that expression and releases what he or she has to offer. So leaders have a promise, they have an offer. All right. Every leader is supposed to have an offer, something that you sell, as it were, in inverted commas, to the follower. Otherwise, why should anybody follow you? The promise you make is the reason for the relationship. It must answer the question, why should I follow you? What's the need for me? Anybody who is following a leader has that, in their mind, and they expect the leader, any leader who is true, who is serious, to respond clearly to that need that they have. All right, to respond clearly to that need that they have. We're talking still about the currency of true leaders, the currency of true leaders. So let's back up a bit and let me clear one or two things about what leadership is, what the responsibility of a leader is. The responsibility of a leader is to reveal himself, all right, is to reveal to those who follow what makes them tick. What each of us have is what we are made up of, what makes us who we are, what empowers us to do what we are noted for, what makes us productive, what makes us get results. When we lead others, that's all that we have to offer. All that a leader has to offer is all that the leader is. The leader, therefore, in all of his interactions with his people, is focused on revealing himself or herself. That way, the follower knows what is available for them to take. Because when you reveal yourself, what you are saying is that this is what you can gain from me. This is what I have to offer you. And hopefully, it will be attractive enough to those who follow you to the point that they can commit to you. That's what leadership is about. It's about the follower following a leader in the hope of benefiting from everything that makes the leader who he or she is. On the side of the leader, it is making himself or herself available in his entirety for the follower to take whatever he or she desires. So here is a relationship where the obligation of the leader is to reveal himself as accurately, as totally as he possibly can, is to make the whole of himself, an offering to the leader, to the follower. It's the follower who decides how much, first of all, whether he or she wants to take anything from the leader, and secondly, how much of the leader he or she wants to take. It is not in the hand of the leader to decide what the follower takes, except, of course, you have selfish leaders, you have myopic leaders, you have leaders who are impostors who don't know what leadership is about, who would rather hold back who they are, who would hold back what makes them tick for fear of replicating same in those who follow them and maybe losing their shirt on the team as a result. But nothing can be more ironic, for a leader. Leaders who are true, leaders who are authentic, leaders who are confident, leaders who know their onions will never withhold themselves and all the good that they have to offer from those who follow them. All right. By offering yourself, you lose nothing, absolutely nothing, and you gain far more. All right. By replicating that good in you, that capacity that you have, that ability that, you have to get results, to make things happen, you don't lose anything. Rather, you gain by replicating it and multiplying it in the process in all other people. So that is the stage for leadership. That you can see the obligation of leadership, and you can see the option of the follower. And I often say that leadership is obligatory, but following is optional. It's up to the one who is following what he or she takes away from the leader, if anything at all. But the leader, a true leader, is under obligation to put the whole of himself out there, to put the whole of himself out there. But there's something about how you benefit from the leader, because you also need, as a follower, to encourage the leader to give all of himself, to give all of himself. And, the that brings us to something that is very important. When you look at, Second Chronicles 20:20, it says, believe the Lord your God, so shall you be established. Believe also his prophet, so shall you prosper. So there are two objectives that the follower has. Okay, you want to be established as a leader, you want to prosper also in your own leadership role. Okay, let me repeat that again. You see, each of us following a leader, what are we hoping to get? What are we aspiring for? We're aspiring for two core things. We want to be established as leaders ourselves. That's where we're following a leader. Everyone following a leader must be looking forward to a time when they become bona fide leaders in themselves. Okay. And then, of course, when you become a leader, you want to prosper. You want to succeed in that role. You don't want to, having been trained under somebody else, having now become a leader in your own right, you don't want to fail. So you see the importance there. You want to be established in your role as a leader. You want to be established among the community of leaders. All right. And you want to prosper in your leadership role. In that role, you want to prosper. But what is the requirement for that to happen? What is the requirement? The requirement is one thing, just one thing: faith. The requirement is faith. Faith in who? Faith in who? Faith in the leader. Now, yes, it is true that that scripture says, believe the Lord your God. And then it says, believe also his prophet. But the truth is that it's saying one and the same. How do I mean? The prophet, a true prophet, is representing God. Is sent. He's not representing himself. A true prophet delivers a message that is God's message, not his message. So when you believe in him, you believe in the one he's representing, in the one who sent him. So the way to truly believe in the one who sent him, who you don't know, by the way, is to believe in the one that has been sent, that you know, that you are interacting with. Jesus said, whoever receives me receives the one who sent me. You don't have to have had interactions with him to have faith in him. Just have faith in me. And you have, it's taken that you have faith in him. So if you agree with that, and I believe you should agree, it's pretty straightforward. That statement therefore means that in order for you to be established as a leader, and in order for you to prosper in your role as a leader, believe in your leader. All right? Believe in that person who is leading you. Believe in that person. That's the key to you becoming a leader under that person, to you going on to succeed in your role as a leader. It's one requirement. Faith is one requirement. Faith. Now, notice who made that statement. Is very important. That's a statement that the prophet of God made when Jehoshaphat and Judah were faced with a situation. So, who was asking for faith in order to give establishment, in order to empower you to succeed? The leader. The leader. So you see again in 2 Chronicles 20:20 that there's a leadership relationship that is described there. And there is an exchange that is captured in that relationship. It said, what's the exchange? You believe in your leader, in me as your leader, and I would deliver all that you need to become a leader in your own right and to succeed in your role as a leader. You see the exchange? There is what the leader is ready and willing to give. There is what the follower wants from this relationship. And there is what the leader wants the follower to give him, all right, so that he can do the needful. Now, notice that it says, believe in the Lord your God. So the initiative has to be taken at the level of the follower. But what is the leader saying with that statement? He's saying, all I need from you, all the currency with which I want to be paid for what you want from me is your faith. Is your faith. Once you pay me, once you give me the faith, I will release to you all you need to be established and all you need to prosper in your role as a leader. Can you see the transaction? Can you see the transaction? So the leader wants from you faith. True leaders, the currency that they trade is faith, is the belief of their followers in them. That belief is what prompts or provokes, if you like, the commitment of their followers to that relationship. If the follower has no faith in the leader, they can't commit to the leader. They can't commit to the leader because commitment is huge. Commitment is huge, but it rides on faith. It rides on faith. Okay? Now, let's examine, let's push this a bit further. Where does faith reside? Faith resides in the heart. So when a leader wants to get paid in the currency of faith, all that the leader is asking for is the heart of the follower. Proverbs 23 and 26 is a favorite scripture of mine. Solomon said there, and he revealed a very important secret about leadership, and indeed of what the leader wants. He said, my son, and by the way, the leadership relationship is a father-son relationship. All right? Is a father-son relationship or a father-daughter relationship in the sense that what the leader does is to reproduce a personality after his own kind. A good tree will only bring good fruit. A bad tree will bring bad fruit. Okay? And every seed, every fruit, every seed produces fruit after its kind, not just any kind of fruit. Okay? My son, give me your heart. Look at that. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes observe my ways. What I need from you is your heart. What is in your heart? What I need from you is faith in your heart. That's what ought to be in your heart. When you express faith in your leader, what you are doing is you are giving your heart to the leader. When you look at Luke chapter 8, the parable of the talent, and when Jesus was explaining that parable, he talked about the ground being the heart of man, and the word as what is sown into that heart. And the difference between different classes of people is the faith that that word produced in their heart. So the ones who had faith, who believed in the word they received, they were able to reproduce fruit. The ones who did not failed to reproduce fruit. So that parable talks about also about the requirement of faith in the word and the one who planted the word in order for the seed that is planted to deliver its mandate. So the leader, in asking to be paid in faith, is asking for your heart commitment, is asking for the heart commitment of the follower, is asking for the heart of faith, is asking for what? The heart of faith. That's what is happening there. That's what is happening. Is asking for the heart of faith. Okay? Is asking for the heart of faith. Now, so the leader wants to be paid in the currency of faith. And that requirement means, my son, give me your heart. My son, give me your heart. And so, what is the leader given? The leader is given what the follower needs to become a leader, that is to be established as a leader. We got that from that Second Chronicles 20, and what he or she needs to go forth and prosper or succeed in their leadership role. And what does it take? There is only one thing that will help, all right, that the leader needs to provide to facilitate that, all right, and that's the word of the leader. That's the word of the leader. When you look at that parable of the talent, the parable of the sower, what it tells you, it said the seed is the word of God. The seed in the hands of the sower is the word of God. It is planted into the heart. It is what is required. It is what empowers the ground, all right, to become a producer of fruit, to succeed in that process, to produce fruit that also have seeds, all right, that can facilitate continuity of the process. So, what it means is this: the exchange that we're talking about, the transaction underlying the leadership relationship, it is you give me your heart of faith, and I give you the seed, which are my words. The words of the leader represent his most powerful instrument. The words of a leader embody all that the leader is. All right? Out of the abundance of the heart of a leader, his mouth speaks. So, the totality of what you and I have to offer as leaders can be expressed, can be transferred through our words. If you take it to, a higher level, the words that we speak contain our spirit, such that whoever receives them and believes them drinks into our spirit, drinks into our spirit. So when followers receive your word, when they hear your word, they are positioning themselves to receive you in your entirety. That is, to believe in your word and to receive the spirit that is in your word. In case you are wondering, what is it about this spirit thing? Where is it coming from? Ezekiel chapter 2 and verse 1 to 2. It shows us that there is a spirit in the word. And Ezekiel said there, he said, his spirit entered into me when he spoke to me and he set me on my feet. He didn't send the spirit, he spoke. But he spoke and the spirit entered, meaning the spirit is embedded in the word. Our words are not ordinary. That's why we are warned that by our words we will be justified. By the same words that we speak, we will be condemned. The choice is yours. You are either approved or you are disapproved based on the words you choose to speak. You choose to speak your words. In John 6:63, Jesus said, the words that I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life. They are spirit and they are life. That is, they contain spirit, and the spirit gives life all right, to the substance of the word. They contain spirit, and that spirit gives life, makes that word produce after its kind. All right. It's like you take a seed, you plant a seed. There is a spirit. The spirit of the seed is in the seed. So even when the seed dies in the ground and turns into a crop, the spirit has died, the flesh and everything about the seed has died, but the spirit of the seed did not die. The spirit of the seed manifests itself in the new crop. That's why that crop is able to produce fruit after the kind of the seed, evidenced by the same seed appearing inside the fruit. That's the dynamics. That's how it works with leadership. Make no mistake about it. That's how it works with leadership. So, leadership, look at the intangibles that are exchanged. The leader comes to the table with a seed, which is his word, his teachings, which embody and through which he can transfer everything that makes him tick. There is nothing that makes you who you are, ma, sa, that cannot be transferred through your words. Nothing. Everything you know can be transferred through your words. Every skill that you have can be expressed through your words. So your words are that powerful, yet they're intangible. So the exchange is the exchange of the heart of faith with the seed of the word. The exchange of the heart of faith with the seed of the word. There's a statement I'd like to leave with you because I like that statement so much. And I coined that statement, earlier this morning. And that is it. Upon sighting faith, every leader gets excited. If you are a true leader, you will be excited when you sight faith, belief in those who follow you. When your people believe in you, it is all the impetus, it is all the motivation, it is all the encouragement you need to give your entirety to them. All right? To take. See, upon sighting faith, the leader reveals herself. All right? In proportion to the faith. The reason I said that is because the there are different levels of faith. There is little faith. There is great faith. And each one will be rewarded according to the level of their faith. So the more faith you have in your leader, the more you position yourself to get relative to others. And this is where there is usually a problem. Some people believe that the leader is playing favoritism. No. True leaders don't play favorites. True leaders, they operate on the basis of a level playing field. They uphold the most important priority of leadership, which is fairness and equity. So they give everybody an equal chance of taking what they have to offer. They don't decide, like I said earlier. You decide what you collect from your leader. And what determines what you collect is how much faith you have in the leader. How much faith you have in the leader. All right? So, but your faith excites any leader, makes gingers leaders to give as much of themselves as possible. But you determine the limit of what you collect. All right, let's quickly move and I will begin to try and wound up. Let me quickly address what I regard as a misnomer here and something that we'll note. If you have followed this broadcast, you would have also realized that it is faith, it is the heart that a leader needs more than any other thing. It is the heart. And it is the word, the seed that the leader has more than any other thing to give the follower so as to establish the follower also as a leader and to empower the follower to succeed. So it is actually the leader that gives the follower seed, not the other way around. You probably know where I'm going. We hear a lot of leaders today who talk about, seed, for people giving seed to the leader, all kinds of seed as a way to appreciate, as some kind of responsibility, as a way to benefit, to pull virtue from the leader. I'm submitting here and now that leaders are more excited about giving than receiving. That's the truth. The Bible tells us it is more blessed to give than to receive. That is a statement from a leader who knows, who knew his onions at the time. It is more blessed to give than the. What he was saying there is that the disposition of a leader, a true leader, is towards giving more than receiving. Let's settle that first and foremost. Having said that, the leader gives seed. The leader is the one that gives the most important thing that a follower needs to enjoy transformation in life, which is primarily to become a leader after his own order, and of course, secondarily, to achieve other things. So the flow of seed, in quotes, seed that develops, that transforms, is from leader to follower, not the other way around. Not the other way around. We're not saying that it's not important to give to leaders, but don't play up is not as significant for the purpose of fulfilling leadership. The purpose of leadership, the leadership mandate, is not as important. What is important, as far as the leadership mandate is concerned, is faith. Every follower will do well to give the leader the heart of faith more than any other thing. If you like, don't give a dime. It won't affect a true leader. It won't determine what a true leader makes available to you. Because true leaders are not motivated by material gifts that come from you. All they want, as we have seen in Proverbs 23:26, my son, give me your heart. Give me what? Your heart. That is priority. And the reason I'm asking for your heart is so that I can deposit seed, my words, my teachings, my doctrines in it to birth a new you. So that I can add significant value to your life. The transfer of benefit, the transfer of virtue is from leader to follower, not the other way around. The truth is this: the leader, the follower, by giving his heart of faith, is doing himself or herself a world of good. Why? Without submitting in faith, he or she cannot benefit from anything that the leader has to give. You can't take away anything from one who you do not receive, from one who you do not believe. We have heard the statement in 2 Chronicles 20:20. It was a statement made. It was like a warning, calling Jehoshaphat's attention to a very critical relationship, something he must observe. If he was to get out of the situation that they were facing, God needed to draw his attention to the place of faith. I'm about to do some things that are strange. This is not the time to start doubting. This is the time to throw yourself in faith. And that's the way it is with leadership. Because there are things that leaders will tell you. You need faith to believe them and to do them. Yet, if you don't do them, if you don't believe them, and therefore you don't do them, or you do them without faith, it depends. If you believe them, you will do them with faith, and they would answer. If you do them, which you can do mechanically without faith, it will not produce. Hebrews 4 and verse 2 said the word that was preached to us is the same word that was preached to our colleagues. But it didn't profit our colleagues because they did not mix it with faith. They didn't believe it when they heard it. But we believed it. And we have proof, we have results to show. The word delivered accordingly to us, but he didn't deliver to them. It's the same way that you have to believe a leader. And there is a way that that is expressed practically, which is strong commitment and obedience to all the instructions of the leader without reservations, so that you can be established as a leader yourself and you can prosper when you step forward to do leadership, all right, as you have been taught. So these occurred to me as I was preparing, and that this is very important. Let me add from what Jesus said, all right, to further clear the air on this issue. In Matthew 23 and verse 23, the Pharisees were told, as the Pharisees that they were, that look, it's important that you give tithe, but you have chosen to neglect the weightier matters of the law. You have chosen to neglect the more important things, meaning there are more important things than giving of tithe. Giving of tithe is like giving material seed to your leader. And Jesus said, well, I haven't said you shouldn't do that. He said, but there are things that are more important and you are neglecting those more important things. He said, you should do this, but you should ensure that you do also the more important things. And guess what are some of the more important things? They are fairness, they are mercy, and there is what? Faith. Again, faith is one of the things, the three that Jesus said, you have neglected this. They are weightier, they are more important than this material seed you people are talking about. A true leader is excited, like Jesus was, when that centurion told him, sir, don't bother to come to my house. I'm a man under authority myself. I understand how these things work. Just speak the word. Just send the seed. I believe to the point that I know all I need from you is the seed, is the word. That's what the centurion was saying. Jesus was taken aback. He got very excited. He said, wow, I've not seen such great faith. No, not in Israel. This is a different level. Excitement. And he gave all. He gave everything the guy wanted. The guy got what he wanted. That's how leadership works. That's the hallmark of true leaders. If any leader who places receipt of material gift above the heart of the follower, faith in the heart of the follower, does not know leadership, does not understand the responsibility that they're shouldering. And any leader, and this is important as well, any leader who mistakes the giving of a material seed, so called, a terminology that we now use in contemporary times. Any leader who mistakes material seed for the expression of faith or love needs to read 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 3, 13 and verse 3, where Paul said clearly, he said, if I give everything I have, including my entire body, if I give my body to be burnt, but I have no love, it profits me nothing. Meaning that I can give you a seed. It does not prove that there is love in my heart for you. If there is no love in my heart for you, certainly there is no faith, because faith is in love. And any follower who is misled into thinking that is your material seed that will give you access or help you to drink into what the leader has to offer you is a shame, because it is not the seed that helps you to take delivery, that helps you to draw virtue. No, it is faith. It is faith. Hebrews 11, I believe verse 3 or so. Through faith, the elders obtained a good report. The elders obtained a good report, not through their seed, not through what they gave, material terms, through what they gave by way of faith, believing in the leader, believing in the leader. All right. And there are many references, to that. Whoever received their leader in the name of a leader, Matthew 10:41, he will receive a leader's reward. I said, without faith, Hebrews 11:6, it is impossible to please God. It's impossible to please your leader as well without faith. And what is that faith? If you come to him, you must believe that he is, and he's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Who diligently seek him. Those who play the material card, material seed card, they don't seek diligently. Diligence in seeking is strong commitment. And Jesus described it as the one who serves with all his might, with all his soul, with all his mind, with all his heart. Those who are misled by material stuff like Pharisees, they are like Pharisees. They are playing games. All right? The kind of transaction that they are getting into is not what leadership entails. Leadership is the kind where the currency that the follower puts forward is faith, not material seed, not anything else, is faith. And what he or she gets in return is the seed of the word, the teachings from the leader, which are predominantly conveyed through the words of the leader, through the words of the leader. No wonder Paul said, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. What was the instrument? Faith. Faith. And it taught it clearly to, to Timothy, who was singled out as to help us understand better the leadership relationship. Because the relationship between Paul and Timothy was a father-son relationship, but it was many relationships in one. The leadership dimension was captured expressly in that interaction. In that interaction. All right. I'm reminded by what Jesus said. He just said, on the last day of the feast, Jesus lifted up his voices and cried out, if any man thirst, let him come and drink. That thirst is expressed in faith. The cup that you come with is a heart of faith to drink from the source. All right? The word, because Jesus was the word. Okay? So let's round up where we are. I believe that you've picked up a lot. These are the things that I'd love to share today. As I said, as I'll be doing on the first of every month, giving us food for thought, encouraging us and challenging us, you and I as leaders, to rethink our approach, our conduct of leadership, so that we can make adjustments, so that we can rededicate ourselves, so that we can sanctify ourselves, be set apart afresh to deliver squarely on this mandate. The world needs these kinds of leaders. So I said, leaders, get your seed, the words ready. Be well trained so that your words have the potency to add value. They are indeed words of grace. And followers, get your faith ready. And let's make this month a worthwhile one for the leadership relationship. Let's make it a worthwhile one for the leadership relationship. And hoping that from what we have discussed today, you have a fresh understanding of what leadership truly entails. As a leader, it gets you ready to make relevant changes so that you can make greater impact, so that you can get better results. As a follower, so that you can make the most of the leaders that you have been opportuned to follow, so you can draw from them such as you need to be established, such as you need to prosper when you go ahead, to act as leaders yourself. Or for some people, they are already leading a team, but they are also reporting to another leader. So what you get is what helps you to lead your team more effectively, as you also are being further developed to be a better leader. I'll finish with a caveat, and that caveat is this. that every leader must take more than casual interest in the faith of their followers, because that faith can fail. That faith can fail. Why? In Matthew 20, in Matthew 26 and verses 36 to 44, you read about the encounter of Jesus with his disciples, and where Jesus basically told Peter and his guys that you guys are going to deny me. You, Peter, you deny me 3 times before the cock crows. He said, he said, Satan desired to sift you like wheat. So perhaps you start reading from like verse 21 or 20. He said, but I have prayed for you that your faith will not fail. I prayed for you that your faith will not fail. The leader praying for the follower that their faith will not fail. So faith can fail. And faith will fail when the leader allows the follower to be exposed to temptations that they do not have the capacity to handle. All right? That's why Proverbs 4:23 tells us, because faith is of the heart. Guard your heart with all diligence. Out of it are the issues of life. Why? Because it is faith that determines what you and I experience in life. So be careful what you listen to. Be careful who you listen to. After Jesus spoke about the parable of the sower, he said, take heed how you hear. Take heed how you hear. All right? So I'll leave us with that. I've been speaking on the subject of the currency of true leaders. And this is all about leadership. It's a new series from me, Olatunji Sobodu. It will come to you first day of every month, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on the subject of leadership. My hope is that it will help leaders far and wide, all across the world. All right, giving them insight into the truth, because what we share draws directly from truths proven over thousands of years. At Emet Leadership Academy, where I'm founder and CEO, we nurture leaders based on the truth. What we have shared today is nothing other than truth. Nothing other than truth. And it's been my pleasure sharing with you today. And I'd like to say, have a wonderful month of March, and remember to do leadership right. The lives of people are committed into the hands of leaders. It's important that we do leadership right all the time, all the time. Thank you once again for joining me. I look forward to seeing you on the 1st of April, God willing, where I'll be speaking and sharing my thoughts with you on another important aspect of leadership. God bless you once again. Bye-bye.